Internets, last week in Atlanta, during the Premium Pete Show live stop tour, was such a sexy night. At WeWork in Colony Square, man, I had all my friends stop by. KP, DJ Greg Street, Raymond Santana of Central Park 5, Angela Yee, man, my father-in-law to be, Mr. Nat Robinson. Man, did I say Trinidad James? Man, I think so. Anyway, listen, I want to shout out to my whole WeWork family for hosting such a sexy night. Just really, really helping me bring a vibe to the city of Atlanta, okay? We had the pickle table by our sponsor, Grillo's Pickles. We had the Jason Mark table, putting people on to make sure they keep their sneakers clean and crispy, okay? My guys from the College of Hip Hop were there, rocking out. Listen, the tour don't stop. Our next stop is in Philadelphia, November 15th. Mark that down on your calendar. I'm going to bring something nice there. I may bring out Rocky, okay? You understand? Balboa, yeah, you know. But I'll tell you one thing. Get into this week's episode with the one and only Shaheem Reid, okay? I've always loved Shaheem Reid, man. Just a real humble, cool dude who stays working, stays relevant, but most importantly, stays himself. Tells us about how he was able to work intimately and still work intimately with people like Jay-Z, Busta, Ross, Khaled, and Diddy. What it's like interviewing Oprah. Internets, I present to you the Shaheem Reid episode. Let's get to it. Cheer.
Come on, everybody get set, let's go. It's the next episode. It's the Premium Pete Show. News, interviews, all of the info. Listen up, it's the Premium Pete Show. If you want the scoop in the low, down low, listen to the show, cause Milk said so. Fuck what you heard, better act like you know. It's the Premium Pete Show.
Internets, welcome back to another episode of the Premium Pete Show. Sitting here with the one and only Shaheem Reid.
Oh, man. Yo.
Come on, talk to me.
Pleasure to sit here with my man, the Double P.
Double P. Listen, yo, Shaheem, let me tell you something. For those who may not know Shaheem Reid, okay, people will start off and say, like, you know, journalist, right? Mm-hmm. What do you name yourself as? Like, when you think of, like, what you do or what you have done or what you continue to do?
Man, I'm just always striving to push forward, and you know, I just hope that people look at me as somebody who impacted the culture, somebody who made history with certain things I did, the strides that I took in journalism, and you know, somebody who is the culture and somebody who's gonna continue to protect it and continuing to impact it. You know, that's me.
Now, when you bring up journalism, is that something that you always wanted to do?
You know what, man? Pretty much. Pretty much, man. You know, a lot of my friends, they done went to school for different things and turned out to do different arenas in life other than what they went to school with. But I just remember when I was in elementary school, man. When I was in elementary school, I'm from Queens. I'm from Southside Queens. I was going to PS 223, and my mother took me to my junior high school, which was 202 in Howard Beach. You know, shout out to Ozone Park.
202?
Yeah, you know, and I went in there, and the first time I saw it, it was kids, and they had a studio, a small little TV studio that they was working out of, and I still remember that day, man. When I was little, I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. I want to be in television. And I was probably 11, 12, and I was like, this is what I want to do. This is cool. So, you know, I had it in my mind that I was going to be, you know, possibly directing music videos or something like that, or directing some type of television. And then when I got into college, I moved from New York to Virginia, Newport News, Bad News. Shout out to all my guys out there.
But you were born and raised in New York.
Yeah, Southside Queens, man. I was born and raised right off of Rockaway Boulevard. People that's not familiar, like Nicki Minaj, 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks,
talent, man, talent.
Sticky Fingers, Fredro, Mr. Cheeks, Freaky Ty, That's all my side of town, man. That's all my side of Queens, and I didn't know any of these guys until I got into the industry, believe it or not, even though we all lived minutes away from each other. It wasn't like, I grew up next door to Sticky Fingers
or
like
Nas,
yeah. Yeah. But, we all got a Queens connection. And, I went to high school down in Newport News, Virginia. And
what made that? Why did that happen?
You know what's so crazy? New York was hot at the time, man. This is the 90s. This is the early 90s, and it was a lot of stuff going on. And it was where I was living. My lease was up, so my mother wanted to move anyway, and she was looking for apartments in Brooklyn, and she found a spot in Brooklyn that she wanted, and we were gonna do it, and there was a big incident that happened on the news where right down the block from my house, a cab driver had got killed. And it was big on Eyewitness News and NBC News and all of that. And come to find out, it was one of our neighbors, not to laugh at it, but it was just bugged out that it turned out it was like a man hunting for this person, and it turned out to be one of our neighbors. He was right there. He killed somebody right on his block. And
Mom said to bounce?
She said it's time to go. And we have family in Newport News, and I fought it all the way, but it turned out to be the best move for me because when I got down there, the school system was a little bit more expansive and advanced for what I wanted to do in communication. So I started taking classes at this place called Channel 6. This was in high school. Shout out Mr. Price, where I learned about television and editing and all type of stuff like that, man. We was making videos. Like one of the assignments would be to go home and make a music video. So it was like, we was lip syncing songs. So there's a video circulating as well. It's not circulating. It's in my mother's house somewhere, VHS, of me and my man Latif lip syncing Tribe Called Quest, Electric Relaxation. We did a music video. I got an A on that. I was the man. I got an A. We did another video where I wasn't in this one. I just directed this one. I was on my little ex, my Hype Williams, at a young age in high school, where we did Brand Nubian, Love Me or Leave Me Alone.
Nice.
So
Gotta Love Me or Leave Me Alone.
Yeah, I had my man Latif lip syncing that again too. Latif and Emmett, thank you for helping me out. And I got an A on that, and I just excelled in that, and I was like, yeah.
Now, do you feel that New York, even though it's like, New York is so big people outside of New York think like New York is like the most amazing thing in the world. When we live here, we get jaded. You know what I mean?
We do, man.
Do you think that the school system is not as good, as all these other, we don't have the good school systems?
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. I got some family members, predominantly my cousin Lynette. She's in the school system right now. She's teaching. She's a hell of a teacher. Actually, my mother and my aunt, they were teachers in New York, and they taught for many years. I'm not saying the school systems was bad. I'm just saying for what I wanted to do, as far as the mass communication, when I got down to Virginia, that system was better because it was more hands-on.
Sure.
Like, and I went to August Martin High School, same high school as Lloyd Banks went, and I think Kashif went to my school, something like that. No, Najee went to my school, pardon me. Tim Reed went to my school too. And Ed Lover went to August Martin for a little while too. I'm sorry, man. It was just bigging up my school, man. August Martin High School. I love it.
Shouts to Ed Lover.
It was like when I was in August Martin, like my freshman year, it was like, you got 30 people piled into a class to teach you about television, and you got to wait to learn the They got like 1-2 cameras for 30 people.
Sure.
So, you're not going to learn. When I went to Virginia, the school, the class for mass communication, it was a lot smaller. It was like 10 of us in there. So, it was a lot more intimate, a lot more hands-on. And then I graduated high school, went to Norfolk State University, and they told me, they was like, freshmen can't touch the equipment, so you can't touch it until your sophomore year. And they didn't tell us that till we got to the school. So I was pissed. But to show you how God works, this is the plot twist, Pete. Say that 10 times.
Tell me. Plot twist. Talk to me.
Because I could not deal with the production side my first few years, I dug deeper into my writing side. So I joined the school newspaper. And I did it reluctantly. I was kind of, jaded even as a sophomore in in college. I was
about the equipment.
Yeah, I was pissed. But a friend of mine, Kathy Fife, I'm shouting all my people out because they say I don't shout them out enough. A friend of mine, Kathy Fife, she was like, "Yo, come work at the school newspaper and work in the entertainment section. You can get CDs and go to concerts for free. Use your press pass to go to shows, and record labels will send you CDs." And I said, I'm a broke college student, sold, because I didn't have no money. I didn't have no bread like that in college. Norfolk, Virginia, sold. And what was so amazing about the time when I was in college, man, Norfolk State was a real hotbed for artists coming down, man. It was like I was doing, when I was in college, I was writing for the school newspaper. I was an entertainment editor, and I was doing interviews with Snoop Dogg, man, right after Tupac died, and I was interviewing Raekwon when Cuban Links was coming out, and
now this is what you wanted to do.
This is what I wanted to do. Like, I started writing. I was always great in writing for some reason, like English class and everything. I was getting A's and all of that, but I never really paid attention to it because I was so dead stuck on I wanted to do production. So I never really took it. Writing is some, for some things for people, it's just some things for people come easier. Like, Jay-Z, making a song for him is easy, to a certain extent. It's definitely intricate what he does, and I don't want to take anything away from that craft. But writing to me is easy, but it's intricate things that I do. Well, it might be easy for me, it might be very difficult for somebody else, but that's just a God-given talent that I had. And, I was blessed that I couldn't really dig into the production side because I never would have tapped in to what I feel is my true talent.
The writing.
As being a writer.
Now, every writer who writes gets writer's block.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you get out of writer's block? How have you done that? If I'm sure you got writer's block before.
I mean, I don't really get writer's block, to be honest with you. Like, I've written so much in my 20 years in the industry. Like, it's kind of like I could kind of do it with my eyes closed. But sometimes I just got to get a vibe, man. Like, as my great friend Ramon Dukes, who works with me at Revolt TV now and worked with me for 10 years at MTV, it's like when I'm in a zone, like when I'm writing about somebody, I like to play their music.
Yeah.
I like to play their music and get into the zone. Whoever it is, I like to play their music, get into the zone, get into that mind frame, and then, buckle down and get to writing, which has been cool. I've been doing a project on EPMD lately. They just taped the episode of Drink Champs for Revolt TV. I'm heavily involved with Drink Champs, and
shout out to Nori.
Yeah, shout out to Nori, EFN, Ali, and Randy, and which is cool, man. It's like, damn, I get to write about EPMD.
Now this is with Revolt.
This is with Revolt TV, man, and this is like my favorite group. One of my favorite groups of all time. So it's like, how lucky am I to be able to come to work every day, sit down at a desk and a computer and turn on goddamn business as usual and vibe out. So we blessed in that, man. But as far as writer's block, I never really got it. And I think the reason for that is that I've been doing news for so long. So news is a thing where, like, I mean, I definitely banged out my feature stories. You know, I got some covers out there, some legendary covers now.
Name a couple.
I got a Weezy F Baby cover. I got a Rockefeller cover. I got a Hot Boys cover.
Now, was this the double XL? Was this?
This is various. This is
Which?
I got only. You know what's funny? I only got one cover of Vibe that I remember. And that's I did a cover of Puff when they did the 20th anniversary. I did a cover of Puff, and it was multiple covers. Vibe magazine is where I got my start. Out of college, I started as an intern, became an assistant. I was working, and look, man, this is some of the great people that we have. We have
Daytwan
Thomas. But when I was coming in, Daytwan is one of my best friends, but when I was coming in, he was leaving to start XXL. But we had Daytwan, we had Jermaine Hall, who's the head of BET Digital and did so many different things in the publishing business. We had Menya O, a.k.a. Miss Info. Yep. We had Sasha Jenkins, who
great Sasha Jenkins.
That's my mentor, man. Doing great things in television and Mass Appeal and all of that. We had Rob Kenner. We had Danielle Smith, she gave me my start. Danielle put me on. If it wasn't for her, who knows where I'd be. She believed in a young boy from Queens.
Why do you think she believed in you?
I think she just saw my hunger. And when I started at Vibe magazine as an intern, one of the first conversations that I had was with Menya. And this was great advice. It's simple advice, but it's great advice. She told me, her exact words was, be as indispensable as possible. And it's the simplest shit in the world.
Miss Info told you that.
Miss Info told me that. I was an intern. I was her assistant, bringing her water and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's been amazing to see her career too. I mean, she has really I feel like she's really like Frank Sinatra. Actually, I feel like she did it her way.
All the way, man. I love her to death, and I'm just happy for her.
She's a mom.
Yeah, the things in her personal life, you know. Yeah, the things in her personal life, I'm happy, and she always seems happy. But she was just so talented, and she was hip hop, man. She still is. You know, the gold tooth. I remember was one of the first trips I took out of town. Me and her, we went to New Orleans to the Baller Blocking movie while they was filming it in New Orleans, and we was in all the projects that's torn down now. Well, we got to see all of that. We got to see Juvie pull up in the Lambo when Back That Ass Up was just coming out. We had a good time. But, you know, Menya is so hip-hop, and she was so hip-hop that I remember we was talking, and, you know, she got that New York accent, and she got the around the way girl accent that's so endearing. And I remember Lil Wayne was about 15, 16. He pulled me to the side, and he was confused. He was like, yo, what is she? I was like, what you mean, what is she? Because he was confused because this is this small Asian lady, but she's talking like, you know, the black chick or the Hispanic chick from around the way, and it's all natural. Like, it's nothing false, it's nothing fake.
Sure.
Menya is
super
one
authentic.
of the most, she's one of the most authentic people that you'll ever meet, and she's so smart, and she's just so embedded in the culture. You know, she's from Harlem. That's a Harlem girl coming up with Cam and Mason, all of that. And
What'd you tell Weezy when he said, what is she?
I told her she's the truth. I was like, that's the truth. She's the truth, brother. She's the truth.
You know, you talk about being at Revolt TV now.
Yeah.
You know, and just being such an established journalist. I mean, you know, were you hesitant about joining like an upstart like Revolt?
Nah, I love it, man. I love it. I wasn't hesitant. I actually was supposed to join a lot longer ago than what I did. I just joined this year. Me and Puff, we had a great conversation about his dream and his vision for the channel when I just left MTV, like in the top of 2011, and it was something that he was working on, and he told me his vision, and I thought it was amazing, and I told him, I was like, yeah, let's try to do something, and it just took a few years for me to get aboard, just all God's
But why
time.
is that? Why is something like that happen? Because people could lose. People these days, I feel like, don't have patience.
Yeah.
People these days sometimes don't follow up. Did you have to follow back up? You know what I mean? Like you didn't lose hope, or you didn't even lose. Like, what brought you back around to it?
Nah, you know what? I never lost hope. It was just something that I was interested in doing. Anytime you get a chance, I've been blessed, man, to work with intimately Busta Rhymes, Rick Ross, Jay-Z, and now Puff. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, shit. Walk out the fucking door after that,
Man, it's a blessing. But because when I talked to Puff in 2011, he was just getting the game plan and everything together to do the channel, and he's doing things, and I started working with Jay with his Life and Times and everything
That's right.
like that. In the interim, I worked at XXL. I started
MTV.
Yeah, well, I just left MTV.
But you were at MTV for what, 10 years?
Yeah, I was there from the beginning of 2001 to the beginning of 2011. So, yeah, I was there for 10 years. And, every time I saw, Puff, he's a fantastic guy, man. And every time I see Puff, like, we've seen each other a lot, because it was just so funny that when he was getting Revolt off the ground, I started working with Ross, who he's very tight with. Then I started working with Busta, who's like, those two guys are like brothers. So, every time he see me, he be like, "Yo, let's get it going." I'll be like, "Yes, let's do it. I'm ready." And then finally, at the end of last year, a great friend of mine, Ramon Dukes, who's one of the top executives at Revolt, he was like, "Yo, let's start doing some stuff, man." And I talked to Puff, and he's even outside of Revolt, Puff is somebody who always has been supportive of me in my career at MTV. He was gracious enough to sit down with several interviews. Like, it wasn't like he was somebody who we had to chase heavily. Like, he just always was gracious with his time when it came to me. And, I always try to represent him in a fair way whenever I do the, articles on him. And, I try to do that with all the artists, though, man. That's the reason why I got into journalism. I was in school one time, and I was reading, I forget what magazine it was. It was one of them magazines. And I remember seeing an article when KRS-One, when he was like, he would do an interview with somebody at like Rolling Stone. And, he does a lot of interviews, but he didn't see a lot of black faces, doing the interviews. And it wasn't people that was representing the culture in the right way that he felt. And, he was saying that, it's cool that we get more rappers, we get more producers, we get more DJs, but, we need more black executives, we need more black journalists, and that stayed with me. And I was like, man, I want to be one of the people to get in the industry and rep the culture the right way. And, that's what I always strive to do, no matter what, man. I always just think about the culture and just representing it the right way.
There's so many people I've seen, particularly even Ross, who would bring you in and valued your opinion, value your ear, value just your expertise and your experience. I believe that you were in the studio when they made that song "Coward" with Scarface and Nas, or they showed it to you first. Didn't Coward show it to you with the fuck hip hop?
Yeah.
I fucked hip hop.
Yeah, definitely. Khaled, I wasn't there when they made it, but I was one of the first people to hear it, and Damn, you took me back with that one, Pete. That blew my mind,
but
man.
Who called? Did Khaled play it for you?
Yeah, Khaled played it for me.
Why did he play it for you?
You know, a lot of the guys in the industry, man, even before like it's time to do like an interview or something, they'll bring me in the studio and just to get my opinion, man, because you know I give it to them raw. Like, I'm not a yes man, and I give my opinion raw. I give, you know, good advice, and they know that I'm embedded in the culture, and they know, like, you know, I got that air that, you know, I know what's going on. Like, I'm in tune with everything. I got a great track record, and you know, a lot of guys they bring me in just to see what my response is. I guess I'm like a litmus test for some of the people, and you know, it's a blessing, but it's torture because I be hearing some of this music so early before it hit the street, and I be wanting to hear it more and more. Like, you know, imagine hearing a dope ass album and you can't hear it again for like another 6 months.
Yeah, sure.
Man, it's torture. Those guys are torturing me, but you know, I love it, man. Again, it's a blessing that, you know, some of the people that I respect the most, some of the people that you and, you know, some of the fans out there respect the most in the industry, they respect my ear. And you know, I've been in the studio with everybody.
Give me a memorable moment then, because you've been in like I said, you know, we'll get into it, but one thing I really like about you and that I have seen over the years is that you're not just a journalist, not just somebody that's worked in different publications, but you're somebody that became friends with these people. Yeah, somebody that I consider myself like that. Meaning, like, I'm not into, you know, I was never a writer or anything, but I consider myself that became more than just an interview. You became, you know what I mean? Like, definitely. Like you basically have created jobs for yourself with these people. Like, they put, you know, like, open up positions and stuff for you. No.
Yes, absolutely, man. You know, it's you know, like I'm saying, it's such an honor when, you know, I go to a party at the 4040 Club and I see Jay and Steve Stout and I'm talking to him, and Jay like, yo, what you doing? I'm like, yo, I just left MTV, and he talks to, you know, one of his top executives, Shaheem Reid, and he's like, yo, sign this guy up immediately. You know, let's get it. And I did a show called The Roundup on his life and times. This was pre-Tidal. You know, this was when he had a YouTube channel. Yep. He had a website, and this was pre-Tidal. And, you know, me and Elliot Wilson was some of the first people that signed up, and we had talk shows on there. And, you know, I'm just so grateful, man. I you know, on my show, I had Terrence Howard.
Well, hold on. You interviewed fucking Oprah.
I did.
Hold on. That's fucking.
Oprah. I was gonna get to that. Yeah,
you interviewed Oprah for Butler on Jay-Z's channel, that YouTube channel, Life and Times.
Yeah, that.
How the fuck do you prepare for interviewing Oprah? Walk us through that.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, I've done a million interviews in my life, and you know, I never get nervous, but Oprah, I did get a little bit of butterflies. I ain't gonna lie, I got a little bit of butterflies because, you know, she just means so much to world culture. You know, not just hip hop, not just black, but it's world culture, and she's somebody who I definitely look up to. You know, Oprah's an idol. Sure, I think everybody just. What she does in business, what she's done in journalism.
What she was able to do is so inspiring. I mean, if you look back at it, I always look at, there's a picture that floats around that shows, like, you know, Steve Jobs or Oprah or Michael Jordan and some other people, and says how he was cut from his high school team, or she was told that she doesn't have what it takes to be on television personality, or you know, Steve Jobs wasn't, you know, savvy enough. Meanwhile, these are people, look what they have done.
She's self-made. She's
self-paid.
Self-paid, and you know, she's what we all striving to do. And you know, one of the things that was really exciting is, you know, I interviewed so many people over the years, but I knew that by me interviewing Oprah, some of the older people in my family, like my mother and my aunts and all of them, would really get excited. Yeah, really get proud. I mean, they already proud of me. Like, you know, even if I'm interviewing somebody who they never heard of, like, they're proud of me that I'm just following my dream and, you know, making something of myself. But it's something where it's like, okay, this is somebody who they look up to and somebody who they love. So I was really excited about that aspect. You know, because we have so much fun in this industry. You like to share it with your family when we can, because this industry, it takes us away from our family so much. So you like to share it. Like, I remember, man, I got a chance to take a picture with Luther Vandross and have him sign an autograph for my mother. That's my mother's favorite singer. I was just so excited when I was able to take her that autograph for Luther, man. That really meant a lot to me. And, you know, it meant a lot to me that he would take time out to sign that autograph for my mother, because, you know, they don't have to do it. And he was the coolest guy in the world. He was super cool. Maxwell, super cool cat, man. He got on the FaceTime. You know, that's my aunt's favorite singer. And he got on the FaceTime with my aunt, man. She didn't pick up. Aunt, she ain't pick up. We did it, but you know.
You didn't pick up?
Nah, she
Yo,
didn't
that's
pick up.
that's fucking pretty special. You know, I forgot where I was talking about this, but and that's why I value you a lot as just a good dude. And because people step up for good dudes, and you know, my daughter was 16 last year, and I reached out to certain people to get you know, just a shout out, you know what I mean, like just a little, and I was able to get, like, you know, Ross did one, and Jada and Styles did one, and
That's dope,
and
man.
LL did one for me, and Victor Cruz did one, and who else, man? I don't want to. T.I. did one, and
Super lit.
and I mean, I had a, like, and to be honest, just, I don't ask for much,
Right.
and you know, it was really nice to see people take their time, because I'll be honest with you, something so simple is not so easy.
Yeah, and it just means a lot, man. It's just, you know, it just something that's so easy for some people. It just goes volumes. Like, you know, Bust, that's my man, that's my brother, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Now, right now, you're the president, still?
yeah, I'm the president of Conglomerate Entertainment, and I'm just so excited about, you know, what's transpiring right now. We got the new record out. It's called Girlfriend, Busta Vibes Cartel and Tory Lanez, and it just feels good. It's feeling good out there.
Who else is on the label?
Oh man, we got OT Genesis.
Motherfuckers didn't believe in him.
You know.
Well, how many times did they count that motherfucker out? I feel like people didn't. That kid, he got another hit in him. I'm sure he does.
Man, it's coming out soon. It's called Everybody Mad. It's called Everybody Mad. It's something serious.
Do you feel that that they? I don't want to say doubted him, but did you feel that? I feel like they didn't. I don't think people gave enough credit to this guy who made a hit.
Yeah, there were some people who doubted him. There's people that I know, people that's friends of mine. They was like, yo, it's not looking too good for your guy. And I'm like, how's it not looking too good? We just went platinum with Coco. He hasn't put another record out, but it's not like he putting records out in his flop, man. He just hasn't put another record out yet.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like we, you know, like, shit. You go to the plate and, you know, you got to let 8 other guys hit before you come back around. So, you know, shit, you just hit a home run in the first inning. Just because you don't hit a home run in the second inning don't mean that you a dub for the game.
Sure.
You just ain't
Let me get back up in the fifth.
Yeah.
You know? But then he came back with Cut It, which was humongous.
Monster record. You know, the fantastic thing about Jen, man, and I remember meeting him. Busta met him on my birthday, June 27th. We was out in L.A., and I had my only party that I ever had in L.A., and Bust came to the party. And party was lit. That's a story for another day. Party was crazy lit. We got porn stars, rappers, singers, everybody. It was crazy.
We got Barry Manilow was there? He was on the piano?
Nah, Barry, he couldn't get in.
I'm playing.
He couldn't get in.
So, yeah,
So Bus left the party to go to another club because, you know, Bus, he's in those clubs, man. He's keeping his ear to the street. Like, he's an OG in the game, but he is super, super current on what's going on. Like, you're not going to slip nothing past that, man. So it was a party for Ty Dolla $ign. Ty just signed to Taylor Gang, just to let you know how long ago this was. I'm paranoid, I'm tripping. Yeah. You know, that song was out. And Jen had this record called Touchdown. The country wasn't aware of it, but on LA, it was on fire. It was one of the biggest records, and you know, Jen and Ty Dolla $ign and Wiz, they all cool. Jen got on the stage, performed, tore it down, and Bus was like, "Yo, we gotta have a meeting." So the very next day, he came to the studio. Him and his brother Chalk, who's his DJ right now, and you know, Chalk is a great A&R as well. They came to the studio. They played us about 30 records, man, and it was just, you know, the guy just has a talent for making songs. You know, it's you know, even the songs that we've heard are just a glimpse into the talent that he has. He has all type of records, and you know, out of those 30 records, we loved about 25 of them, and you know, he was signed to the Conglomerate soon after. So the funny thing is that all of the songs that you guys are hearing now are all brand new songs. These are not any of the songs that we signed them off. You know, sometimes people, they get signed and, you know, they have a record and we about to put it out, you know, but these are all brand new records. These are post the deal. Like, you know, Jen, he's somebody, he don't really like putting out old material, so he like to keep it as current as possible. So I don't even know if you'll hear all of these great songs. So when we were shooting a video for another record at the time when we shot Coco, we shot in between takes of shooting another video. We went to the projects. Yeah, we was out in LA and we went to the projects, and the funniest thing in the world, man, like I look back at it and I gotta laugh because I'm literally sitting on a couch like this. It was in one of the assistant producer's apartment. It was small. So I'm sitting on the couch just like this, and probably right where that, maybe like right outside that door is the kitchen when they're filming the famous baking soda. I got baking soda. So I'm literally just sitting here watching Sports Center on mute while they're shooting the video, which turned out to be a historic, groundbreaking thing 10 feet from me. Like, it blows my mind when I think about it. And, you know, so when Coco came out and it started to wane and people was like, well, does he have anything else? And he was like, of course, because we knew we had a stash. If worse came to worse, we knew we had a stash of 25 records that we could pick from, and he had a lot of hits in those. Like, even the record that we was about to shoot the video before Coco came, you know, Coco came 2 days before we was about to shoot the video, so everything was in place. So we still went along with shooting the video, but we decided to shoot Coco too. But, you know, the guy has so many hits in the chamber, like new stuff, and his album is going to be phenomenal, man. Like, his album, he has some really big records. Like, he's always going to keep it street, and he's always going to have records for his core fans. But, you know, I think we're going to hear, like, the biggest songs to date that he has. Like, I think he has records that can surpass Coco and cut it. Like, I really feel that.
I hope to see it. Now, you mentioned somebody like, with Life and Time, somebody like Elliott Wilson.
Yeah.
What does Elliott Wilson mean to you?
Oh, man, Queens.
Okay.
Queens all day, man. You know, when I talk about the Vibe alumni, bless you, bro.
Thank you, brother.
When I talk about the Vibe alumni, I didn't get a chance to talk about people like, you know, first of all, just the Ego Trip family alone, man. People that's not familiar with that Ego Trip family.
Classic.
those guys are some of the pioneers, man. Like, we got to do like a 30 for 30 special on like the Vibe magazine alumni, man. Just, Cheo, who, he's the showrunner for Luke Cage. He comes from there. When I was at Vibe, man, I was an assistant, and then I became associate music editor. So I was actually assigning and editing stories for these guys. Like, I was assigning Cheo's story and assigning Elliot's story. These great writers who I came up reading, so it was bugs. So, Elliot would call and I'd be like, can you do this music review, or can you do this interview with such and such? And, he would do it. And, Elliot's always been a real cool guy with me, man. Like, that's fam. Like, when I see him, it ain't no big deal. Like, that's fam. Like, that's my man. And I'm proud of everything that he's accomplished. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think that in this industry, particularly what you guys do and what he's doing, it's very valuable to look at you guys and learn how you guys reinvented yourself all these years. Meaning, like, okay, MTV didn't work, so let me find this over here, or let me find a spot over here, but still do what you love.
I don't want to say MTV didn't work, because it worked. It just ran its course, man.
Well, ran its course. That's better word.
Like, you could see what the direction that the station is now, but I predicted where it was going. Like, I just knew that, I just saw like how the inside was working. Like, people, when you have a team, man, you have a championship team, and you see that shit, we didn't lost our coach. We didn't lost our left tackle. We didn't lost, it's changes happening, and I wasn't with all the changes, and I just seen some of the direction where it was going, and like I said, I did it for 10 years. That's the longest job that I ever had for so long, being coming right into the game and starting my career, and I'm forever grateful. MTV put me on the map, just like I think I put MTV on the map. Like, we work hand in hand. I brought a lot of people to MTV that they wasn't up on. Kanye, 50, Ross, Jeezy, Game.
Why do you think they weren't up on
them? Because that was my job. That was my job to be up on that. Like, you put certain people in place, and they put me in place. I was the hip hop editor, the only one that they've ever had, and that was my job to bring the talent. They had the foresight to know that I knew what I was talking about, and that's what I did, man. And we had a great team, man. Me, Sway, Ramon Dukes, who's one executive at Revolt, Whitney Benter, who's a great talent executive. Rob Markman came after I left.
Shouts to Rob.
Shouts to Rob and his career as a rapper. Like, I love it, man. Like, I love seeing these journalists expanding from just doing journalists and stepping in. And I feel like I definitely was one of the ones in the forefront of it.
Sure. And what you essentially do is open up doors for people.
Yeah, I think I definitely served as inspiration, man. Like, me doing the Rich Forever mixtape with Ross, that turned out to be the most downloaded tape of all time, and people saying quality, it might be one of the best mixtapes of all time. And
when you think of Ross,
what
comes to your mind about Ross that people may not know? Meaning, like, what's your feelings on Ross of as a friend, as a person? Because people look at Ross as an artist. Sometimes music people, fans, I would say, they're great because they support the artist, but they only look at the artist one way. Mm-hmm. Meaning, like, oh, that song is trash. Oh, that song is good. Or they don't look at maybe what type of heart this dude has, or what a good dude he is, or how much he puts on for his people. I mean, I don't know. I'm just
Well, first thing and foremost, Ross is my brother, man. Like, when I see him, like, I got a lot of friends in the industry, but Ross is definitely one of my closest guys, man. Like, you know, I may not talk to him every day because he's moving around the world, you know.
Sure.
And I think my schedule's crazy, but his schedule's crazy. But Ross he got a great heart, man. And you know, look at all the people that he's helped put on through the years. Like, he really genuinely wants his people to win, you know. And a lot of bosses, I'm not gonna say a lot, but some bosses are not like that. They don't have that characteristic. You know, they happy to be on top, and you know, they want their people to strive or maybe not be as big as them, be as successful. Like, Ross want everybody to eat, man. Like, he's such a he you know, Ross is he's an athlete. So he looks at it in terms of sports, man. He look at it when we go on tour. It's like the football team traveling, man. And, you know, he want everybody to win a championship. Like, he got a big heart like that. One of the funniest people that you'll ever meet. I don't know if people really get a chance. I mean, he definitely does a great job of. He's a very charismatic guy.
Sure.
You know, when you see his interviews, but he is genuinely a funny guy, man. Like, he'll have you cracking up, and he's a really great dad. I don't know if people get a chance to see that aspect of it. Because I know he don't really bring his kids. You know, people don't like putting their kids in the spotlight, but he's a terrific dad, man. Like, I seen him with his kids, and you know, they love that, man, and it's reciprocated.
See, it's good to hear things like that. What about Sway? What's your
man,
when Sway comes to mind? I like asking people certain things because I feel like sometimes we don't get a chance to always tell people what we think about him.
I could talk about Sway all day, man. I love him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love Sway, man. That's my big brother for real. Like, the first time I met him at MTV. Well, first of all, let me give you a background. In college, I absolutely was a fanatic for Sway and King Tech Wake Up Show, man. You know,
Forever classic,
man. We would watch it on well, not watch it. We would listen to it late night, man. Like, on a Saturday night, if I wasn't out there trying to chase some girls or something like that, I'll be right in my dorm room with the radio. I forget what station it was. I don't know if it was Wowie, if it was 103 Jams that it had, but I remember one day, the first time I heard it, he had Red MF on, freestyling, just blacking out, going crazy. And I was hooked ever since then. I would try to listen to it, you know, every week, or try to tape it before I go out. And you know, Sway, the first time I met him at MTV, I was on a trial basis, and you know, he was like, "Yo, welcome to the team." I was like, "Man," I was like, "Thank you, I appreciate it." You know, right now I'm just on a freelance, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm freelancing too." And you know, Sway, I'm just so happy to like to have somebody like that as your brother is amazing. Like, we've done so many fantastic things together, and just to see his career, like what he's done, interviewing Barack Obama and you know, interviewing these different athletes and
I mean, everybody, man. Just the more
everybody, man. You know, Sway is, you know, he the GOAT.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like,
and he's so professional with what he does.
He's absolutely professional, and he's very humble. Like, Sway is the same guy who I met in 2001. You know, he's the same guy, same humble guy, and you know, as soon as I, it's like seeing your brother. I just seen him. I haven't seen him in a minute, but I saw him Saturday at the Meadows Festival in Queens. I don't want to date this, so I say, you know, we'll do take two. I saw him recently at the Meadows Festival in Queens, and we was backstage, and you know, we talk about life and everything. And his daughter is going to college,
Yep.
and she's such an amazing young lady. I remember when she came through and she was just a little girl making bracelets and hustling, selling her handmade bracelets in the office, and just to see her grow up to what she is. He's a fantastic father, and I'm just happy for him, man. Like, you know, he's been around my family. I've been around his family. Big up T. Calloway. Oh, I stole his big brother. You know, that's my big brother too, T. Calloway. And, you know, that's really family. Like, the thing about us at MTV, like, when we was together, man, like, it wasn't it was black people there, but it wasn't, like, a lot of black people in positions of executive power, you know? So we joined together. Tuma Basa, who's killing it at Spotify, man. Tuma running the game right now, Tune. You know, Butterman, Yomi, Bridget, who's at Getty Images right now. It's so many great people, but, you know, we had a chance to bond together. We was young black people, and we had a vision to just make it hot, man. Like, we wanted to make the hottest stuff possible. No pun intended, we created Hottest MCs, by the way. You know, if anybody want to know who created Hottest MCs.
That was on MTV, right?
That was on MTV. Me, Sway, and Ramon Dukes.
Yeah.
We created that.
You know, your journey has been special. I mean, I'm sure there was times that you experienced a lot of highs and a lot of lows. For anybody listening that wants to get into journalism, particularly not only journalism, because I can't only consider you a journalist.
Thank you, bro.
You're a renaissance man, and you're also.
Thank you, man.
You're also a person, like, you know, that is becoming an entrepreneur. You know, and what you do. You know, entrepreneur ain't somebody who, you know, I always just think like entrepreneurs were these people who, you know, open up $30 million companies. It's people reinventing yourself and putting yourself in line to do what you love and make money at the same time.
Man. Look at what you're doing with this beautiful podcast and the other ventures that you have, man. Like, the great thing is that we inspire each other. You know, like, I'm looking at stuff that you're doing. You know, like, even we talked about Sway, like, he inspires me, and Elliot inspires me. When I see that, you know, I see that Jay-Z interview come out, and, you know, I'm like, damn, that's some shit that I wish I could have did. But at the same time, I'm happy.
Yeah, most definitely. Yep.
Because, you know, it's in great hands. It's almost like an artist, man. It's almost like an artist when your friend is a talented rapper and you go to the studio and hear his album. You like, damn, I wish my album, you know, I had that on my album, but I'm happy that he got that. Sure. So, you know, it inspires, and I'm sure Elliot, they see some things that we doing at Revolt, and they're like, damn, I wish we could have did it, but I'm happy he's doing it.
Sure.
And, you know, we keep building each other up. The journalism game has changed, man. Like, I'm lucky for the fact that I came up in an era where it was magazines, because I had an opportunity to study and learn from some of the best editors that helped me with my writing. You know, nowadays, a lot of the kids, man, coming into the game, it's just so, everything is just so fast all the time. Like, they don't really get a chance to cultivate their craft, man. So I would definitely say whatever you're trying to do as far as writing, as far as being in front of the camera, behind the camera, like, really hone in and cultivate your craft. Try to do as much as possible, man. Like, don't get into this fast food mentality. Of course, you got to do some things fast, but, you know, do some projects where you could really take your time and, you know, like, really cook that meal for the people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it ain't all gotta be the 5-minute burger or something like that. Like, really make that filet mignon, and you know, just find what you do. Like, it's so many different avenues you could go in right now, man. There's so many different avenues. Like, you know, try to find what you're good at, and, you know, you could put your own stuff out now. You know, like, I see, I was in the studio last night with Fat Boy SSC, okay. And it's like, damn, you know, just to see what he's doing. Like, you know, some of the people I see on Instagram, I think is coonery and buffoonery. Like I see some people, they just doing some of the stupidest things in the world, and I hate it like that. But you know, somebody like Fat Boy, I think he's a genuinely funny guy. Like I watch some of his stuff and really crack up. Just like I was watching Cardi B, you know. I remember, man, when we was putting Coco, she was like dancing in the clubs and whatnot, and just to see her come up, like she was so determined, and she talented young lady, man, funny as hell. I think she's gonna be even a bigger star in Hollywood than she is in music. But you know, you gotta keep pushing forward, man. And you know, some of the best advice that this is my philosophy is that never let your accomplishments get you too high, and never let the accomplishments get you too low. Like, you know, there's gonna be sometimes you do some stuff that doesn't work, but you can't give up and don't get so low where you get depressed. And there's gonna be some things that you do that go through the roof, but you know, don't get too gassed where you lose your focus. You know, you gotta keep pressing, man. You gotta keep moving.
Mm. You know, you've been through a lot of things in life. Your journey has been filled, like I said, ups and downs and so many things. What could be, I don't want to say one but what's some of your most memorable moments? Like things that really make you proud. I know you spoke about Mom and the Luther Vandross picture and et cetera, but what is something that keeps you going?
You know what, man? I'm gonna be honest with you. Like the newest stuff, you know, just thinking about what's to come, man. Like I have some shows that's coming on Revolt, and you know, when I go to Revolt TV, man, and I see like a lot of these young black executives doing their thing, that's really inspiring, man. Because you gotta remember, I'm coming from a place like MTV where a lot of the ideas started from us, man. You know, it started from like the brain trust, as we would call ourselves, man. But we wasn't in position of power to like really green light certain situations. We wasn't in a position of power to actually, you know, even put our projects that we know was dope to even get them the right light to be shined on them. You know, like it was just certain things like we just wasn't in position as far as executives go. We was in position as far as creatives and things like that. But you know, it was stuff like we come up with the dopest idea, but we still got to get it greenlit by the powers that be. And then, you know, even sometimes when it get greenlit, they didn't really treat it correctly how they were supposed to treat it. You know, don't get me wrong, like I love my time at MTV, but it was just, you know, now being older and into the game, it's like, damn, it's like we ain't really have too many black executives up there. It wasn't really too much of us in position of power, and not even black executives, like people that's into the culture,
sure, that understood it and
to understand, like certain things we had to fight for.
Sure.
You know, we had to fight for Hottest MCs.
I always say that. Imagine that you have to explain to and get approval from someone who has no fucking idea of what, you know, what's like what it is or what it could be, you know?
Yeah, so I just look at people and you know, and I tell them, man, like, just think about all of the great stuff that we accomplished at MTV, some of a lot of the great things that we did. Now, imagine we could have did twice more. You know, like it was stuff that it could have been twice as big. And you know, that's not taking nothing away, because I had some great people that brought me into the company. Michael Alex, you know, Rob Mancini, my man Ocean, who was the first one, Ocean McAdams, who was the very, very first one to bring me into MTV and give me a shot. And, you know, those dudes, those were the people who I'm talking about earlier, who hired us, because, you know, they never claimed to know about the culture, but they put me in place to bring it to them. But I'm talking about people that's even higher than them, you know, that may not have supported some of the things that we wanted to do when they needed to support it. So I look at I look at Revolt TV, man, and it's like I don't want to sound cliche, but it's like a breath of fresh air. Like, you come in and, you know, you come around the office and you're going to hear Lil Uzi playing, and you're going to hear me playing Eric B. and Rakim and Redman and, you know, some of my guys, or you might hear Michael Jackson playing. Like, it's people that's, you know, just vibing and coming up with great ideas, and it's such a healthy environment to help foster your ideas, and we ain't got to go through a lot of red tape. Like, it ain't like, you know, we got an idea, it's like, all right, cool, let's do it. You know, let's execute it. Let's put it down on paper. Let's make it make sense, and let's execute. It ain't like a whole lot of explaining, like.
And you think that's because of Puff's, you know, influence on the brand, meaning like that he believes in the people that are hired?
Yeah, you know, Puffy, he's done a great job. Him and the board, and you know, all the people there, they did a great job of putting people in position that don't just know about television and internet, but they are of the culture.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure, most definitely.
We've had people that, you know, I work for people that they may know what it is to make good TV, or they may know what it is to get clicks on a website. But are you of the culture? Nah. You know what I'm saying? And especially like my last few years at MTV, man, we just had people that wasn't of the culture making too many decisions for people that was of the culture.
You know, before we wind this episode down, we didn't get into Jay-Z. You know, you done a lot of things with Jay. And you spoke about how he hired you for Life and Times.
Yeah.
But what is it sitting down? Like, what is it like sitting down with Jay? And what is it like being, you know, I guess affiliates with him or friends with him over the years, you know?
It's funny, man. Two of my favorite artists of all time, man. I didn't really get off on the right foot with them, under circumstances that I had no control over. Ice Cube, love Ice Cube to death, man. I just started at Vibe magazine, and they hit Roberta, my homegirl Roberta, who was Ice Cube's publicist at the time, Roberta McGreeny, who y'all know worked with Mob Deep.
Sure, that's the homie.
Yeah. So she was working with Cube, and, you know, I'm Death Certificate, America's Most Wanted, Lethal Injection. Like, I love Cube. The first time I met Cube, he had, like, some type of event. I go to the event, and he's like, why Vibe don't fuck with me? And I'm like, what? Like, I have no idea. Like, I'm so excited to see this guy who, you know, I love his music from NWA, but apparently they have wrote some bad reviews on him, and you know, Roberta had to explain, nah, Shaheem ain't had nothing to do with that. He just starting. They got a new regime there, and you know, we trying to make it right. So, long story short, me and Cube get real cool, and I've had the pleasure of doing some great interviews with Cube over the years.
He's gonna put you on a big 3 team. Watch out.
I'm more of a baseball guy, man.
Yeah.
Like, I love basketball, but I think I'm better playing baseball. My jumper is weak. Jay-Z, first time I met Hov, man, it was some political situation going on with him and Vibe magazine. I had nothing to do with it. You know, I'm super Jay-Z fan. Are you crazy? Like,
when you say political, what do you mean?
It was just some controversy over a cover. Like, he was supposed to get a cover or something or other, and he didn't get it at that time. He wound up getting it down the line. But, you know, it was a time when I felt that he should have got the cover. You know, like, I was like, yo, I think you should be on the cover. This is when I think Volume 3 was coming out. I was like, yeah, you should be on the cover. But, you know, I wasn't in a position to do that. I'm just getting a job there. But the first time I met him, I was doing a section called Next, where we had, you know, some of the hot new artists that were coming out. That's what the Next section in Vibe was. And we was doing a celebrity-driven, where artists who had signed artists were being featured. So we had Missy Elliott. She had either Nicole Ray. I think it was Nicole Ray a tweet, but I want to say it was Nicole Ray. Jermaine Dupri had Bow Wow, and we wanted to feature a Million because Jay-Z signed her. And you know, me and Jay had a long talk about that cover, and I was like, I'll take it back to the office, man, but I'm on your side, brother. But you know, I'm an underling at that time. I'm just getting on. But over the years, man, had some fantastic interactions, some fantastic times with Hov. Like I said, I'm eternally grateful I had a chance to break bread with Hov, and he's the greatest MC of all time, and he's moved the culture so forward. My favorite memory of Jay-Z is when he was playing out the Kingdom Come album. He did, what did we do? 7 cities in 24 hours. We started in Atlanta, then we went to Philly, then we went to New York, Chicago, L.A., Atlanta. I lost track a little. Chicago. And it was like every stop, it was just different people coming in. So like Philly, you know, Freeway, and, you know, Petey Crack coming in, and we went to L.A., and I'm standing on stage watching Jay-Z perform with, standing next to Denzel Washington watching Jay-Z perform, which is a surreal thing. Then we end up in Las Vegas, and I'm partying with Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian watching Jay-Z perform. It's like, what the fuck, bro?
Every city bringing out the hitters.
This is crazy, but we literally did 24 hours of getting on the jet, and I'm on the jet with Jay-Z, me and Sway. Yeah. We on the jet with Hov, and he's telling us some fantastic stories, which I can't repeat, and we having a good time.
Where all the bodies are buried.
I'm playing around.
It
was great stories, man. And you know, Jay-Z's another guy who I had a chance to interview in college too, man. He actually opened up. He opened up a show for Akinyele.
Really?
Yeah, which was so crazy, you know. But yeah, man, me and Hov, we've had great interactions, and he's somebody who, just as a fan, and even just as a black man, Primo, like, just as a black man, I'm just proud to see what this dude is doing. Just his accomplishments as far as just transcending hip-hop culture, transcending black culture. He's another one of our world leaders.
Sure.
And, you know, I remember seeing Jay when I'm in school doing like the comedy club in Hampton University, to now where I just seen him do tens of thousands of people at the Meadows Festival recently. And, you know, just everything that he's accomplished, man, I'm proud of him. And, you know, it's another guy who inspires you.
Listen, on social, Shaheem Reid?
Yeah, at Shaheem Reid. At Team Shaheem too. That's my team. You can send them music. A lot of people like to send me music, but you can send it to at Team Shaheem.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Like, you know, your journey, like I said, to me is special. More importantly, because of the person you are, and I mean that. Like, you know, you see all these different people that you interact with, and you know, they really respect you. And you know, that's not something that could come. That's something you earn. You know what I mean? And just watching you over the years, and like when you talk about transcend culture, you talk about like hip hop and just moving it forward. You're definitely one of those guys because your heart is in it. You know what I mean? For sure.
You,
so I appreciate you taking the time to stop by, and you know, what's next for you?
Oh,
Conglomerate President.
Yeah, Conglomerate
Revolt.
President. Revolt. Busta album. It's gonna come out at some point this year. We looking forward to it. It's been a pleasure working with Bus too, man. Like, I've actually, you know, grown up with his music, man, and to say that I work with him, and I think he's made his best album to date. That's gonna come out this year. I'm proud of him. We got some big shows coming. OT Genesis, new song, Everybody Mad. I got a couple of shows coming out on Revolt TV that, maybe like end of the year I might come back once these shows is getting in rotation.
Let's do it.
And we talk about them. But, I just want to do some really groundbreaking things. And, we looking for all of the dope cameramen. We looking for all of the dope writers, the dope producers. Holla at me, Revolt TV. We for the culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shaheem Reid.
Man, I just want to tell everybody, Pete, to look out for that Revolt Music Conference. October the 12th to the 15th. It's in Miami, Florida. We about to get busy, man. Like Lauryn Hill coming down, 2 Chainz, Queen Latifah. It's gonna be it's a really big thing, man, where you get a chance to see not only the superstars but some of the really dope up and coming talent. That's the place where we broke OT Genesis,
Sure.
Coco, Travis Scott. He was there early in his career, so just a lot of great artists, and you get a chance to see the people in the industry and get some wisdom, man. Come sit in on these panels and hear some wisdom from the OGs like myself.
Revolt Music Conference. Fuck with it. Shaheem Reid. Peace, brother.
Thank you.
Internets, if you enjoyed that episode, I want you to reach out to me. Email me. Tweet me, okay? Email thepremiumpeatshow@gmail.com. At Twitter, @Premium Pete, @Premium Pete Show. On Instagram, @Premium Pete, @Premium Pete Show also. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you didn't like. And also, to all my small businesses or big business, no matter how small or big you are, you want to advertise with the Premium Pete Show, get at me. thepremiumpeatshow@gmail.com, and we'll figure something out, okay? Now make sure you subscribe, rate, and tell a friend to tell a friend. And I'll see you next episode. Cheer.